Great, now I got blue shit everywhere. Now I am getting ready to pack some orders, print some labels. Yeah, so I have to label all of, I can't think, oh my god. Oh, I have to label all of my blends. I have all of the blends added to the site now. Almost all of the blends added to the site now. And then I am going to pack a couple of orders. And that should finish up this vlog. But as I'm doing this, I just figured that it would be a perfect time to talk about this, because I think one of the main questions that I get on my channel, you know, after you watch a hair video and learn the science of hair for me, like, it's not made up or anything. After you learn the science of hair for me, it's like, well, oh, well, let me see your hair, or what about your hair? There are hundreds of videos on my channel. If you're new here, then you probably haven't seen them yet, but they're here. Go look at them. My body deals with something that I was born with that everybody on my father's side of the family has, including my father. As his soul roams wherever it is. And here we go. One thing that used to, I feel like, I'm just being honest, and this is blue tea. Oh, there's no way for me to show you this. Great, now I got blue shit everywhere. So, sorry. I have so many people like, oh my god, Sin, like, you know, you're giving us all this information, but what about your hair and how does your hair look? And this is the thing. If you're new to my channel, I already said that. If you're new to my channel, you probably haven't seen my hair videos yet, but there are hundreds of videos on this channel. And I almost was about to go ahead and wash my hair and straighten it, but that's not within my plan. That's not within my hair growth. That's not within my hair calendar. If you are part of the 7-day challenge, then you know what I'm talking about. But it's not on my hair schedule. That's not what I'm doing right now. And then, not to mention, whenever especially because, you know, I'm human, I'm gonna talk about that in a podcast one day. So I think the thing that confuses a lot of people is YouTube, because YouTube has been around for so long with all of the different YouTubers that do hair tutorials and hair videos and stuff like that. I feel like it gives people the perception that, like, that's normal and that's what you're supposed to do, but that's not how stuff goes. Like, if you are going, there's a difference too, depending on what state you're in, between a hairstylist and a cosmetologist, right? So if you are a person who is going in to see a cosmetologist, you're wearing your hair the same way for 2-3 weeks. You're not touching your hair and styling your hair and doing all of these different hairstyles. You're keeping your hair the same way for 3 weeks until you see your hairstylist again. So a person who goes to see a hairstylist regularly does not have 50 million different hairstyles. It's only when you don't have a set pattern, you don't have a set routine, that you're always in your hair. So hold on. My bad. So there's always that's what I was saying. So when you say, like, oh, well, how are you doing your hair, how are you wearing your hair, I'm not wearing my hair 50 million different ways. I did hair for over a decade, so I'm not, I think that's what has people confused, because you're so used to seeing YouTube videos where it's like, this crochet style, this style here, this style here, hair, this style hair. It's like a cosmetologist and a hairstylist kind of live in two separate worlds. A hairstylist does hairstyles. A cosmetologist does hairstyles too, but most cosmetologists are focused on like scalp health and hair care. You don't see a lot of hairstyles on most cosmetologists pages, right? Most cosmetologists aren't doing twisties and updos and using a bunch of gel and spritz and jam. Those are two different things. Like a hairstyle and scalp health are two completely different things. They're two completely different categories. So I think that confuses a lot of people, because I think most people are expecting me to be doing like all of these 50 million different styles. No, like I'm never gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. That's not who I am. Like I used to speak completely against that for my clients. It used to drive me crazy, because during the summer months my clients would play in their freaking hair and be doing all of these different hairstyles and stuff, and then they would have massive mechanical damage to the point where when they would come in and see me, I had to cut the majority of their hair off, because they've been doing all of these YouTube hacks and all of these crochet braids and all of this different stuff that you've been doing. They're doing the wash and goes and all of that. That's the summertime. Yeah, all these different hairstyles. And then you go in to see a regular cosmetologist, and then when you go in to see a regular cosmetologist, that's when you figure out that all your hair then came out, and it's a repetitive cycle. That's why most women cannot hold on to length. And so I know that was a lot, but when it comes to my hair and the way that I wear my hair, I'm not a person who's playing in their hair all the time. Like, you're not gonna see, what the freak, you're not gonna see a crap load of different hairstyles from me. Like, you're just not gonna see that happen. It's just not gonna happen. So anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not going to wear my hair in 50 million different ways. Like, that's just not how I get down. It's just not what I do. So I'm not talking crap about nobody. I'm not saying that the way that other people do hair is bad, but it's just weird, because sometimes I'm just being honest, sometimes when you don't see me post for a while, or you don't see me post videos and stuff for a while, it's because, like, sometimes you just have to protect your peace, because it's hard sometimes when you are doing everything like publicly in front of people. Like hydrogenated superativa, most people don't even know what the hell that is. So most, of course, if you don't know what it is, you're definitely not gonna understand it. And I will get so many comments, like, and I know some people mean well, I guess, or some people think like that they trying to help, or I don't know, but people make comments. Oh my god. Oh Lord, people make comments like, oh, your hair, like, you make these videos, but let me see your hair, or you make these videos, but like, oh, this one right here. And I think what gets on my nerves about posts like this person here is definitely old enough to be my mother, which makes it extremely frustrating, because it's like, why are you like this? Like, why are you like this? Because it's really unnecessary. And when I see stuff like that, it makes me like not really want to post videos, because it's like, why? I get online and I make videos to help. And I remember when I first what the freak, I remember when I first got started, it was never like, oh, I'm doing this to prove stuff to people. Like, no, like I'm getting online and YouTube is like broadcast yourself, so I'm broadcasting myself, and I'm like, I'm getting on here to share. But then it's like, okay, if I make a bad decision and eat something that I shouldn't, and I get a bald spot in my head, like, damn, that means nobody's gonna listen to me now because I ate some chicken and now I'm having an outbreak in my scalp. And then when you get comments like this, it just makes you like, yup. And it sometimes when you already have an insecurity about something, I've had HS my entire life, and you get people like, oh, that's because you flat iron your hair. Boo, no, it's not. HS outbreaks come here, between my, like a whole bunch of different places. It has nothing to do with the flat iron, because please explain to me how a flat iron is affecting other places. What does a flat iron have to do with my pits and the other places that HS affects, right? So like I said, when you get comments like that, it makes you like, okay, like I think I'm straight for a while. But then you get comments like this, and this comments like this is what makes me like, you know what, okay, I'm doing something right. There we go. Comments like this make me like, okay, I'm doing something right. I know this is the way that I'm supposed to go because of comments like this. It's like, it's hard for me to be like, okay, what I'm doing isn't working, or what I'm doing isn't needed when people are getting results like this, whether it's from booking one-on-one consultations with me or from going to see their dermatologist. That's what it is. So I do the best that I can to share stuff with y'all as it pertains to my experience and what I'm dealing with. But I think that y'all have to realize that y'all have to separate what y'all are used to, what y'all have been seeing on social media for the past decade. And I get it, like, it's confusing, because you gotta think about it though. If it's been going on for over 10 years, right? A lot of hairstylists didn't have the option that I had to leave the industry and do something else, right? So a lot of hairstylists are still dealing with it. And so if a whole bunch of hairstylists are still dealing with it, but a whole bunch still left, the ones that still are there, a lot of them are on some shit like, okay, if I can't beat them, join them. So yeah, you will go into a hairstylist that's putting apple cider vinegar in your hair, because during that time frame where you were supposed to, like, think about it, if it's been going on for over a decade, right? If it's been going on for over a decade, that means that if you've been going to a hairstylist that's been licensed for under 8 years, she got her hair license, she got her cosmetology license in the midst of rice water, apple cider vinegar. Like, that was the norm. Not to mention, a lot of people, again, don't know this, cosmetology school, the instructors are not these master cosmetologists that got to the top of their career and now they're giving back. No, okay? Most instructors have and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm gonna speak on the instructors from when I was in cosmetology school. All 3 of my instructors still did hair part-time, but their clientele wasn't consistent enough for them to be making enough money to pay their bills. So they had they worked, their full-time job was being an instructor and their part-time job was being a hairstylist. So a lot of times the instructors in cosmetology school, yeah, they going by the book depending on what school you're going to, but a lot of cosmetology instructors are giving you the shit that they didn't see, or they add their own little BS to it. So when you do the time frame, I remember having conversations with a cosmetology school and they asked me, hey, can you come in and talk about rice water? I'm like, no, I'm against rice water. They're like, oh, well, we have a rice water product and we want to, you know, teach it to our students, blah, 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 blah. What is it? So at that point, we're like, okay, like, I mean, at that point, I'm like, okay, this isn't for me. Wish y'all the best in y'all endeavors, but I'm good. Because I don't want to be a part of that. That goes against everything that I talk about. So they just found women who would come for the money. There are people who like, okay, let me see the script, I'll go with it. And y'all don't know nothing about that. Why? Because y'all the consumers that people are pushing everything to. So that is why I am at a place where I am only really focused on, why is it doing that? That is why I'm at a place where I'm not focused on stuff like that. Like, we're only gonna be focused on things that add value. Anyway, so yeah, I hope that this little random jig answers some people's questions, because that becomes very difficult. It becomes very, very difficult to make content sometimes if the content is all going to be dependent on me planning my hair. I'm not doing that. Those are the things that you're supposed to stay away from. Those are the things that you're not supposed to do. So I'm not going to then piggyback off of that and be like, okay y'all, for some views, do this to your hair, do this to your hair. Like, y'all, that is where all of the damage has been coming from. That's where all of the damage has been coming from. Y'all watching all of these videos, trying all of these new hairstyles, doing all of these new hacks. That is where the damage comes from. So I'm the reason that I'm not constantly making videos like, oh, do this to your hair, do this to your hair. The reason that I'm not doing it is because my hair routines are the same as they were when I shaved my head. So go back to the video from when I shaved my head originally. Everything's the same. Everything's the same. I'm talking about the same products, everything. When my hair got to a length where it could be blown out, nothing has changed about my routine. Nothing. So that's the reason that I'm not constantly making videos about reason that portion was put together in here for this vlog is because people ask that question a lot, like, oh, you know, how do you wear your hair, or what are you doing with your hair? Y'all, I shaved my head a couple of years ago, and with dealing with HS, whenever I get outbreaks in my scalp, it gives me a bald spot, and sometimes it's like clusters of them, so it'll make my hair look uneven in most spots. So that's why I cut my hair the way that I cut my hair, the way I explained it in this video, link in the description box, right? So I cut my hair all the time, and then me and my family just moved. I am finally stress free for probably like the first time in I don't even know how many years. So my hair is growing back. I have a whole compilation coming. I have a whole sorry y'all, who is this? I have a whole compilation video, oh shit, coming up really, really soon, just to show y'all, just so y'all can see exactly what my hair growth has looked like from it balding till it coming back, till it growing back, so y'all can see what it is. Because I think y'all are so used to seeing women with all of this big thick hair, and everybody's hair doesn't look like that naturally. Everybody does not have naturally thick hair just because they black, and everybody does not have super duper long hair right now. But there's a process, right? There are things, like if things happen within the human body, then certain sometimes you end up losing hair. And I share everything the way that I share it because I want y'all to see that y'all not alone, and that I share stuff the way that I share it because I want you to see that you're not alone, and you don't have to freak out and cut all your hair off every time you get a thin spot or a bald spot. Now if your ends break, that's something different. Now, if your ends break, that's something different, right? But sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll feel like, oh, I don't even really want to make a hair video or a hair growth video, because I'll get comments like, certain comments like this. But you know, you can't please everyone, and I'm not about to make myself a test dummy on social media and be going back and forth and posting all of these videos. Like, I'm just not doing that. So it means so much to me when I get comments like this, because the proof is in the pudding at the end of the day. Like, everything that I give y'all here on my channel is to so y'all can have healthy habits, because the problem that most people have is y'all are so used to people giving y'all look like little quick fixes. Like, I get comments like this all the time, like, oh, okay, you gave me all of this information, but tell me what to do to fix it now. Girl, it don't work like that. So if you are on a channel where you're surfing the internet looking for a site that's gonna give you a quick fix, this ain't it. Because a quick fix undoes itself quick. You cannot do years and years of damage and then expect for somebody to say one thing in a 15-minute video to undo all of the damage that you've done to your hair. That's crazy, right? So that is why I make my content the way that I do. People who, if you really are really serious about like growing your hair back, or filling in a bald spot, or whatever the case may be, your gut health, anything, then you're gonna actually take the time out to ingest the information and learn it. If you're not, if you don't have the time for it, then it just may not be that deep to you, or I'm just not the person for you, because I don't do quick fixes. I don't do that. That's why I open my apothecary, so that I can give you guys like herbal medicine for you guys to be able to help y'all heal y'all bodies from the inside out. I'm giving you the information, I'm giving you the science of the human body, I'm giving you resources for you to go search for it yourself, giving you all of the information that you need for you to be informed, for you, like, I'm giving you everything that you need to go do the research yourself. If you're a person who wants everything bottled up and packaged up for you, I'm not that girl, because it's not that simple. That's what gets you in a messed up spot. What gets you in a messed up spot is you constantly looking to somebody else for a solution that only you have. So if that's just what it is. So I love y'all, but I'm just not about to be playing in my hair all the time. I'm not about to make myself a test dummy. And like I said in the video, like I just said in the clip, I don't know if I'm gonna add it or if I don't know, so I'm gonna say it again. But I'm not here to like go back and forth with people and try to prove stuff. Like, that's what you do. That's what people go back and forth when they're sharing opinions. You go back and forth and you debate and you argue. When you have a group of intelligent people, for example, if I have 7 scientists, right, and we all sit in a room talking about hair follicle disorders, right, not one scientist in the room is going to say a black woman doesn't have a sebaceous gland, so they need to oil their scalp. Nobody's gonna say that. Nobody's gonna say that. They're gonna say across the board, the only thing that goes on the scalp is shampoo. That's it. Something to cleanse it. Or if you do something like in between braids, like a rose water or a witch hazel or cucumber water on a cotton ball to clean your scalp after you work out, things like that. But that's in between plans that you already set. Nobody's going to say, oh, if you have seborrheic dermatitis, the solution to seborrheic dermatitis is castor oil. Nobody's gonna say that. You know why? It's a group of scientists sitting in a room together, and everybody has studied and been tested, tried and true, and had experiments, and everybody in that room knows that they know that seborrheic dermatitis is an overproduction of oil within the sebaceous gland. Everybody knows that. So when somebody gets up there and says the only way that you can cure seborrheic dermatitis naturally is with oil, everybody's gonna be looking at them like, you don't know what you're talking about. Because they know the science of the human body. So there's no debating. We're not debating. Everybody's gonna be like, okay, you're right, I'm listening. But when you don't know the science of the human body, when it's just an opinion, there'll be hundreds and hundreds of opinions, because everybody got a booty hole. So there'll be hundreds and hundreds of opinions, and everybody just throwing their opinions at each other, but nobody gets a result. Everybody's been in the same cycle for over a decade. So it makes me feel so good when I see women like this that are pulling themselves out of that, because it becomes stressful. Because I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I'm constantly trying to figure out, like, okay, like what do I say, like what else can I say, right, to make people know what this is? What else can I say? Sorry, y'all. Like, what else can I say to let people know what this is? Like, what can I say? But it's like, it's discouraging sometimes, because sometimes it seems like the more information you give, you start being accused of stuff, and it's just like, okay. It sometimes it makes you think, like, is it really that deep for me? Like, do I really gotta do this? Like, do I really need to do it? Is it really worth it? But it is. It's worth it. So anywho, I am printing these labels. And yeah, I love y'all. I hope that everybody is in a really, really good place, because I am. I'm gonna have videos coming really soon on my hair and stuff, and like what I do to my hair and all of that. But right now, like I said, I'm focused on my business. But like I said, I want you guys to go ahead, and I'm gonna put together, what's going on? I'm gonna put together a whole playlist for you guys, so that way